number of things that have been done, the steps of faith, and also just simply taking time out to repent and to bond with Allah. It's a very important time. Now, yesterday the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council asked our Muslim brothers and sisters to watch out for the moon to know when Eid al-Fitr will be celebrated this year.
Yes, and now that announcement means one thing, that we are wrapping up the holy month of Ramadan. This is the 27th day, yes? Now, observing Ramadan is one of the 5 pillars of Islam, the 5 duties that are obligatory to every Muslim, and during this last days of the month, Muslims are required to or not to do certain things. These are some of the things we want to find out this morning from
Haji Nsereko Mutumba, who is the spokesperson of the Uganda Muslim Supreme Council. You're most welcome to Morning at NTV.
Thank you, viewers. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
And we're also joined by Sheikhat, who is Sheikhat Zaitun Kakama. Yes, I have to say that very, very well. She is a counselor from HAM Professional Counselors. Well, we start off with how we have had you on this table before. Yeah. We've had a conversation about dress code. We have also had you here at the start of the period. We talked about what we should do, what we shouldn't do. Yeah. But as we wind up, as our Muslim brothers and sisters are in the last 10 days, yeah, where do we stand? Where do they stand? What should they be doing?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Now, in these last 10 days, we have about 3 important issues. One, we have a day of power, Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr, in the Holy Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Inna anzalna fi Laylatul Qadr. Laylatul Qadr khayr min alfi shahr tanazzal malaikatu wa ruh fiha bi-idhni rabbi min kulli amrin salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. To be brief, that you know, it happens in odd days, either 21, 25, 23rd, 21, 23rd, 25th, or 27th, or 29th, for that matter, in case if at all we finish. So that day is a very, very, very important day, because according to the translation, it's equivalent to 1,000 months, which can be equivalent to 83 years plus 4 months. Now, on that very day, the archangel
Jibril,
the archangel Jibril, descend on earth and bring all the blessings plus Ruh, Holy Spirit, they come together. So whoever gets a chance, if at all he's awake or she's awake, she gets all the blessings which are expected, or which is, equivalent to those 1,000 months.
Okay. So
that's one. Two, there is an issue of, an Eid al-Fitr. But we have a certain charity which we offer in these last 10 days for our brothers and sisters who are unable, to get what they want. Those disabled, those people with the financial problems, whose welfares are not good, so we are supposed to give them something, so that also on Eid day they enjoy themselves like ourselves. And also there is a Eid al-Fitr day. That's a day for celebration. But now, that being said, what should we do in these 10 days? Because we have a Chiganda proverb which goes that which means that boats mainly sometimes perishes when they are about to land. So it's like now we have cleaned our clothes, white cloth, very, very white, without any dot. So we shouldn't put it in tar in order to, to detain it. So it's very, very important. Supplication is very important. adhikar is very important. We should add on, consolidate what we have, been doing, and see that we get all the blessings we want, all the rewards we want, all the profits, because we have been trading like it was. Now after trading, you can't just go and gamble and and it just pays your amount away.
Right.
Yeah.
Zaituni, it's been 27 days of fasting.
Yeah.
Is there anything like a marking scheme whereby a Muslim can maybe tick against and say, 27 days from day 1 to the 27th, I have done these things right, and maybe these are the things that I fell short of, and maybe before we come to the end of the fasting period, I need to correct. So are there basics of some sort of marking scheme?
Yeah, I think that is the simplest way we can make it, we can call it. Ramadan has its activities that are clearly for that period. For example, we are expected to read the Quran. It would be very nice if someone read it and completed it, and even reread it, but the minimum would be to read the whole of it for the whole month.
Okay.
So today, as we speak, the Quran has 30 volumes. We call them juzus, and most of the mosques averagely do a certain number of juzus. So if there are 30 juzus today, by now a person should be familiar to around, not a must, but familiar to around 27 juzus. Or around 25. So most of the mosques are now between 25 to 30 to complete the Quran. That is one. Two, we have the prayer called Tarawih. Tarawih prayer. It's a congregational prayer that we pray after breaking the fast in the evening. It's a longish prayer, special for Ramadan. So if there are 30 days, someone must have prayed at least 27 of them, apart from us ladies, where we are exempted in the month, in the period days. You don't pray. Then we have sadaq, you giving charity. So someone should really be able to measure themselves, because in this month, whatever you do is rewarded handsomely. So everybody should be able to ask themselves, how much have I given? How much money, how much food, how many people have I helped to break their fast? Because those are activities that we are told to really consolidate, to put in more energy.
And this is sadaq to the less fortunate.
To the less fortunate, or even to a friend.
Okay.
If you find mom and you give her a veil, it doesn't have to be to the needy also, but charity goes to nearly everyone. Yeah. And then we have 4 Juma prayers, because it's a month. So it means that at least someone should have prayed the 3 Jumas. We are remaining with the one of today. And we also have what we call pray in the night, because the Prophet encouraged us to pray a lot in the night during the month of Ramadan, much as we do it even in the other days. So if there are 30 days, how many days have you woken up? How many nights have you woken up to really bond, to become closer to your Creator?
Is there a timeline, like any specific hour during the night?
During the night, actually, the minute we finish, we have the last prayer of the day. That is, we call it Isha'i. It's the last prayer. So after that prayer,
at what time?
That is around 8:30 or 9, then up to around 5, between that period. It's critical. Actually, they say if you woke up at 3, because the Creator, our Prophet told us that Allah, every night, not only in Ramadan, every night He comes to that first heaven and He asks us who are sleeping, who are dancing, whatever people do in the night. He asks, who wants to be forgiven? Who wants to be given? Who wants to be blessed? Every night,
at 3 p.m.
At around 3, when in the wee hours, the wee west, that night, the deepest part of the night, when nearly everything is sleeping. So Allah comes and He's looking for those people who look for Him in that special time. So if He comes in every day of the year, how special is it now in this holy month? So how many times have we woken up, us who are there? So if you started in the beginning and you're like, I will wake up every day, now you can check and say, okay, so that in these last 10 days, because Sheikh has mentioned what we're supposed to do in the last 10 days, we have what we call Itikaf. Itikaf is our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the month of Ramadan, the last 10 days, he used to get a small luggage and go into the mosque and close every earthly matter out of the mosque. He consolidated reading the Quran, he consolidated supplications, he consolidated praying. Because, you know, in this world, if you don't pray, I think the weapon we have is to pray to our Creator.
Correct.
He's the one who can really solve. So he used to pray, to read the Quran, to pray for us. You know, those who are here, he didn't even know us. So he consolidated the things that he used to do in the 3 weeks before. Now it's like no intervention, no distraction. The 10 days are for my Creator, nothing else.
Shekat, in those 10 days that you're talking about, since the Prophet did go and take time off, do we say that every other Muslim brother and sister should also take those 10 days off and go into the masjid and pray?
Those who are able, if you are able, if your job allows it, if your time allows it, really, if your health allows it, please do. But if you are unable, there is a time where you can at least pick a day, or pick these the odd days that Sheikh has mentioned. You the 21st, the 23rd, the 25th, today, and the 29th. Or at least minimum should be 1 day. For males, I think for males, if I were a male, I would take off, you know, after work. You go to the masjid. In the morning, you go home, you know, you dress up, you come to work. In the evening, you go to the mosque. Because what comes out of it is ours. When, you know, when you consolidate, it is you. I was talking to her and reminded her when we were going towards UNEB, you know, when we were going to do Kantab?
Yes.
Those last 10 days, remember last time, I'm good at reading at the last moment. So those last 10 days where you have all that summary and everything, so everything goes on fingertips. So this is in relation to.
All right, okay. Hajj, we know that for one reason or the other, there are people who skipped some days and maybe necessarily didn't, you know, do what was required for them during these days of fasting and this holy month of Ramadan. She did mention even, you know, with regards to women who are in the menstrual, you know, phase. Thankfully, maximum it's 1 week. Maybe someone didn't pray. In that. Keeping that in mind, is sitat obligatory, or can they take advantage of that to make up for the days lost?
Yeah, after Ramadan, we are going to
sitat.
Now, during that month, they are supposed to compensate those days, unless you have a chronic disease. There is a special arrangement which have been made for those people. And another thing also is about praying for the departed people, those who departed from us. It's very, very important also in these last days. We have also been praying for them, but even these last 10 days, because according to the narration from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, fasting itself as an entity on the day of judgment will come and plead for us that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will deprive the people from this. From eating decently, like for example me, you see how I look. I eat decent, but now I have been deprived of that. So the Quran, I mean the fasting itself will come and say that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, please forgive. And even the Quran itself will come and say that he was devoted, she was devoted during this month and other months reciting me, but particularly in this month. So please forgive. So, in fact, for us, we expect our payment after this earth.
Okay.
So that's why you do a lot of things, but waiting for, because these are not earthly payment. But also sometimes you are. If at all you help someone, I think also he prays for you, and he's also get excited and think that we are at par. For example, someone, you give him sugar, you give him rice, whereas he gets only to eat rice during this month of Ramadan. How do you expect that man to feel, or that woman to feel? So this is the holy month, which you know, in accounts we say it's a stock taking. And you know, stock taking, we stock take. Then after seeing what we have, and we expect more profits. So from here, we shouldn't go back to what we have been. That now it has been finished. Let us start from where. Starting what? We have to continue because we have cleansed. So we have to continue until the other month of Ramadan, inshallah.
Okay. Now, Haji, you mentioned stock taking, and also when you look at the surahs, now a number of people will say they're the shorter ones, which a number of people have chosen to be reading there as you get through work and go through your day. But then the longer ones, it has said in the 10 days, the last 10 days, taking a look at the longer ones, translating them, finding their meaning, and finding where it sits within your life at that point in time, where you stand during the fast. What would you have to say about that?
You see, every 10 days have their specialities. The first 10 days, I think we told you that it's Maghfirah. We ask for pardon, we ask for pardon, we ask for pardon. Then the middle 10 days, Rahmah, forgiveness, mercy. You know, we expect for forgiveness from Allah because it's for mercy. Now these last 10 days, all of them are equal, but they have their specialities, which we should do during these days. Which we should do. Otherwise, you can't eat for 20 days and wait for the last 10 days, or you can't eat for you can't fail to fast for you know for the first 10 days or the middle 10 days, and all of them are equal, but they have their special activity, you know, and prayers and supplications.
Yes. Yeah. Sheikhat, you wanted to say something to that?
You were talking about the Quran, the long versus the short surahs.
Oh, you know, we're talking about the surah.
Yes, the surahs.
Oh, surahs. You know, surahs are special. You know, every surah came
for a reason.
For a reason. For example, now I have recited the Laylatul Qadr. It's particular about this. But when you go to Wal Asr, it's about patience. Patience, and you know, every surah has. I think all of them are equal, only that they came for different reasons. Yeah, but she can supplement.
She wanted to know how someone really can maximize the Holy Quran, because there are short verses and then there are long verses. In Islam, you are not. We don't demand anything that you are unable to do. If someone is comfortable and has really learned the short surahs, I think it's important to give more time to consolidate on what you really know, and you recite those ones. Then for the long ones, that is when we go to the mosque for the Tarawih prayers, because we have most of the mosques now do have the Quran memorizers, people who have the Quran in their head. So they are leading in a congregation the whole Quran. So if you're not comfortable with the whole book yourself, you can now go to in the evening to the mosque, and you follow with the congregation. So at least by the end of the month, you too might have completed the book.
Right. So it's not necessary, no pressure, one would say.
You
do what you can, and then go ahead and you can go to the mosque.
It's a direction from Allah, la ikra fi din. There is no
pressure.
Zaituni, we did talk about the marking scheme and you broke it down, and before we actually went on air, we were having a conversation on the rewards that someone gets, especially during this holy month of Ramadan. Maybe just break it down for us, especially, you know, just us learning to know that, okay, fine, I did this right, this is the reward, or I did this wrong, and if I don't repent, perhaps, then this is the consequence.
Wow, Ramadan is a special month. In our religion, most of the practices that we do, we kind of envisage, we have an idea of the reward that we have. When you pray, when you do one good deed, you are given 10 rewards. Okay. But Allah tells us that, He says that as-sawmu li, that fasting is mine. You fast, but fasting is mine. I want to give a picture. If you have a child at home or 2 children at home, and you're like, whoever is going to clean my bedroom, you don't say anything, you just, you know, and so you leave these 2 children or this one child to do what the interpretation. Someone will take the interpretation to be like, my God, that present is going to be so, you know, huge. And then someone might take it lightly, someone might not take it serious. So Allah tells us that the reward of the month of Ramadan is His. But one thing that we know is there's a special entrance to Jannah, or to heaven, that is special for the people who are fasting. It is called a Rayyan. People who have fasted in this life will enter that gate on the day of judgment. The minute that people who fasted have entered, that gate will be closed. Okay. Then we have another reward, a peak on the reward is in this night of power, where they've told us that if you have a chance of getting this night, you have rewards of 83 years and 4 months of good deeds. Wow. How many of us know that we are going to be here for 83 years? I think it's a very big thing. But if Allah has given a reward of 83 years in just one night, how big is it for the 30 nights?
This is 83 years.
83 years of good deeds.
Wow.
So if it is just one night, you know, if logically, then the 30 days must be, you know, fasting is you know, there are things we do for people we love, and there are things that we do for people we love. I don't know if I've made sense.
Yes.
But fasting is that thing you do for your God.
Over and above doing all these good things, you know, the night of power and fasting and, you know, getting all these rewards. Is there that one thing that a human being, we are all human beings and we are prone to errors. Is that one thing that someone might do that will nullify all the good deeds they've done? Including fasting? And the 83 years of rewards.
But one that is really terrible, because what do we fast? We fast food, we fast drink, we fast conjugal rights during the day, and we fast all the bad or gross things that you can do to a fellow human being, or stealing, killing. But the minute, for example, you have sex, even though you're married, after dark, that is the morning meal, the morning meal we have in preparation for the day. The minute you have conjugal, you know, relations with your husband, that nullifies your fast completely, and also and it's really terrible. Actually, they tell us you're supposed to, the only way you can compensate, you first of all complete this month, and then you fast 2 months, hope I'm right, consecutively.
Wow.
You see how big
to compensate for that one sin.
The minute we finish Ramadan, you start 80 days non-stop. And then some people translate it like women are actually in problems, because, you know, when you get to the next month, then you have to break for those months. So it's like it's difficult to compensate the 80 months. So like I've told you, fasting is this one thing a believer does for his creator. So you don't want to mess it for even a small little bad thing.
So is it just the conjugal sin, or is there any other sin that could nullify all those good deeds?
Even killing someone innocently, it's unacceptable. But the main point for it, because this is the intention, because now doing that, you are in your mind, but it's very because for us, prostitution is not accepted, and also killing someone innocently is not accepted.
Innocently
is not accepted. So those I think the capital offenses, mainly killing people, I mean killing your person innocently and involving in those conjugal acts during the month of Ramadan.
Okay, but one thing, Hajj, that you have emphasized, and also you have been able to emphasize, Zaitun, is the fact that even after these 30 days, your lifestyle after that also matters.
Yes.
So let's talk about that lifestyle. Of when you're done, what do you now have to do? What should your ordinary day life be?
Just in summary, you know, we Muslims worship Allah. Period. You don't add anything. You don't add any human being. You don't add. It's you and your creator. Okay? So people who are being good in this month and are planning to be, you know, going back to their bad ways in the next month, we usually regard them as people who worship the month. And in Islam, if you worship something other than Allah, then probably you're going into a category that is not good. So we urge all fellow Muslims out there that this month is just a training You know, it's a training, it's a camp whereby we rebuild or we learn. And in psychology, they tell us if you are able to do something for 21 days continuously,
it becomes
a lifestyle.
Yeah.
It becomes a habit. So if for us we've been given 30 days, if you've been able to fast for 30 days, you've been able to be out of fornication for 30 days, you've been able not to abuse people, to dress decently for 30 days, it means this can be your lifestyle. And in religion, in Islam, it's a choice. Really, it is a choice. So whoever you meet there and has decided to do whatever, there the accountability is very clear.
Okay.
Okay. Now, Hajj, we have Eid al-Fitr that might be next week, depending on when we see the moon. But also next week, at the start of the week, will be Martyrs Day. And in 2015, as the Muslim Supreme Council, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, an amount was set aside for the development of memory for Martyrs Day, for the Muslim martyrs. Now, where does the Muslim faith stand come Martyrs Day this year?
For us, we don't celebrate that Martyrs Day. By the way, the Muslim, those who were killed during those days were killed. Were martyred. Okay, because for us we don't have saints in Islam. Mainly, those we can't regard them as saints. In fact, we are praying for them. They are not praying for us. Secondly, the days are different. Ours were killed by Sekabaka Mutesa the First in 1876. And these ones, I think, were martyred by Mwanga in 1880, around there.
Right.
So, ours is only to remember those people, because for us, we don't intercede through people. We don't pray using other people, because we don't know the intention. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the intention.
Correct.
Were they passing by the time they were killed, or what? Were they doing what? So, but we are supposed to pray for them because
they are dead.
They are dead.
Right.
But we don't have a special arrangement for them that we are going to perform pilgrimage. Pilgrimage in Islam is only restricted to 3 mosques: Makkah, Medina, and Bait al-Muqaddas in Palestine.
Okay.
Otherwise, other than that, we don't perform those zanani.
All right, okay. As we come to a close, in 1 second, I want you to speak to the Muslim Zaituni, especially the Muslim woman, and pretty much maybe resound a word of encouragement for them to still hang in there as we come to a close of the holy month. That's your camera too.
Oh, yeah. How lucky or unlucky. Ladies out there, the Muslim ladies out there, today is the 27th night, one of the nights that we hope is the night of power. Please, if you are able, go to the mosque and spend this night there. If you are able, if you have permission with your husband, or you can go as a family, you go there and consolidate. We have a lot to pray for. And secondly, please do not go back to the bad ways after the month of Ramadan. Otherwise, you'll be worshipping the Ramadan month, which is very terrible. I don't want to say that you're getting out of the religion, but it's an indicator. And then fasting doesn't stop in Ramadan. We continue fasting throughout the year. We have the Monday, the Thursday, we have the white days, that is in the middle of the month. You can pray for a reason. You can pray that I want to have something, and then you fast. So I want to encourage all of us out there to continue fearing our Creator, because you don't know when you are going to live this life.
All right. Hajj, that's your camera.
After Ramadan, we have Eid al-Fitr. So there are a lot of celebrations. In fact, sometimes you stop that you hear them announcing that we have this, we have this. Those even who have never participated in fasting. But we request you, and we appeal to you Muslims, not to indulge, not to do. To go in those festivals which are incompatible with Islamic Sharia. You are free to celebrate and to enjoy yourself, but in according to Islamic norms.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for coming in studios. We have learned quite a bit. The hashtag is Morning at 10 TV. Engage with us, yes? Have you seen? Or what should you correct? There's a marking scheme that you can, pretty much gauge yourself against. So thank you so much, Zaituni Kachama, for coming in studios. She is a professional counselor with Palmer Professional Counselors, and also Hajj Nsereko Ntumba. He is actually the spokesperson of the Uganda and Muslim Supreme Council. At this point in time, we did promise you that we'd be jumping over to Uncle D, David Rukasi. Yes, he is in pretty much is going to be giving us updates with regards to the Martyrs Day celebration. He is in Namugongo. Yes. Good morning, David.
Good morning once again. Thank you for joining us. We are at Namugongo Anglican Martyrs Shrine this morning. This is where we are. The preparations for Martyrs Day are ongoing here, as well as earlier on we shared with you. The pilgrims are out. There's a security check that is going on the inside, and the place has been thoroughly cleaned on the inside before they can let the pilgrims come in. Remember, these pilgrims are coming from all places. This morning we are glad to have the Archbishop, the Reverend Canon, that is of course in charge of this area. He happens to be by the names of Reverend Canon Henry Segawa, the principal of Uganda Martyrs Seminary here in Namugongo. He happens to be the vicar of Namugongo Anglican